How to get your car dealership recommended by ChatGPT and other AI chat engines. This was the topic of my speaking session at NIADA, where I think we're going to put a photo of it somewhere here. And we had a lot of people coming after asking us, can you share the presentation, or is there a recording version of it? And I thought the best is that I'm going to re-record this so that if you're a dealership, in general, if you're any business, to be honest, you could benefit from this. But our focus is going to be on dealership samples and how you guys can get your dealership on what I'll call do a chat engine optimization in 2026. With that said, let's get started. Okay, so this presentation is about getting recommended, and we are going to share with you the exact blueprint we used for our own startup. We're software marketing software for car dealerships, so you could apply it to your own dealership, to your own business. These are a couple of samples if you search for like video marketing for car dealers. So this is at the time of the presentation. We are cited from our platform, and we also are on top. None of these are paid, so these are all organic. This is another example for 360 car photography. Literally, our company comes up. The first sort of result is Glow 3D. We also have our videos as the first place to be. So I want to show you how you guys can do this for your own business in this video. Let's get started. So there is a shift from search to chat, from keywords to conversations, from keywords to answers, from results and options to an actual conversation. So in the old search, you would say a used SUV in Toronto, and then it will give you a bunch of options, and then you will select it. You couldn't communicate, right? You ask Google something, it will give you the answers, and that's the end of conversation in a sense. So in the new behavior, buyers ask AI for conversation to get to one eventual answer. So instead of having options, that will get one eventual answers that they're going to go with the help of AI. So in other words, we could say AI gives answers, not options. And why is that important? We're going to look into it. So what AI agents look for? The answer is that they look for something they can trust. So the keyword in you being options and answer, and one of the part of the AI answer is that the AI needs to trust you, and trust your company. Trust that your company can offer the services that the person wants, as a real person would do. But then the question is, how does the AI establishes the trust? So it happens through three important components, important columns. The first one is reputation, then authority and clarity. And we're going to sort of peel the layers as we go forward through this presentation. So this is a good news, because if you're a smaller business owner, if you are a dealership, these can be an independent car dealer's superpowers, what we call as RAC. We're going to refer it as RAC: reputation, authority, and clarity. Why this is important? Because a local business, a local dealership, can create a better reputation in their local market than a national franchisee would be able to do it. They could create a more authority that, they are there. They are the dealerships that people go in that area. And they can be much more clear about who they are, what they do, how they're connected to the community. And this is a great news. It's great news for smaller businesses on being able to compete with giants. But how does AI determines the rack? So now we're going to sort of dive deeper. We're going to peel layers until we literally get to specific actions you can do to help you show up in AI chat engine results and questions. So how AI determines the reputation, authority, and clarity. So AI elevates trust signals across the web. So what this means, it's going to look at reviews and ratings. across the web, not just on Google, not just on Bing, not just on, let's say, a directory. So it looks at it across the web. It mixes it with how clear your website is, how much consistency is out there about your business, and how recent those informations are. And it looks at third party mention, who is also supporting your claims, who is also saying you're a very good business for solving that a specific problem. So AI more likes a smart assistant that trying to protect the user by finding the answers that he can trust based on the rack system, right? So does this mean crawling is dead? No, crawling is still important because even the modern AI search relies on smarter crawling and retrieval method while saving energy. So the best way I could sort of explain the difference is if you in a sort of older time, even right now on Google, when you do a search, you're not technically searching the internet. I know we all think we're searching the internet and it brings up the internet pages, but technically you are searching all the information that is organized and indexed in Google servers. So you're not searching the internet, you're literally searching Google servers. And those information are obviously from crawling the internet every day, some websites multiple times a day, some websites maybe once a week, depends on how important Google thinks that website is or how often it gets updated. It sort of goes back and get the new updated information. So um, this way, the function of organizing, the function of indexing, the function of sort of organizing the human knowledge, as the Google calls as their mission, happens within Google. So your websites, it gets the information, index them, organize them, and then when you search, it gives you the answer quickly. That's why it can give you the answer quickly, because technically it's not going through the whole internet and search. But if you notice with AI, the answer is a little bit slower, and the reason is that the search is happening um, live on internet for most of the time. So it is a mix of knowledge that is crawl already with AI with the live search that it does. The thing with the live search is that the AI wants to find the answer for you with the least amount of energy spending, right? We all know how the prices of RAMs and storage and GPUs are going through the roof, and how everybody's battling to buy more GPUs, buy more RAMs, buy more storage, because it the AI takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of resources to go, and every time that you do a chat finds the answer. So what it wants to do it smarter with the least amount of energy. That is the goal. Kind of like a lazy assistant where wants to find the answer with spending the least amount of time. Imagine the AI does it for a different purpose, for saving energy is the goal. So a smart live crawling retrieval, AI search still relies on crawling. So crawling is very important, and also does the indexing, and but it works in a smarter way by focusing on energy saving and cross-referencing knowledge bases. So instead of matching keywords in system, pulls into from the index pages like the search, it literally goes and finds the answer. So the sooner it can find the answer, the less energy it spends, gives that it can trust, and it meets its threshold, it gives the answer, and then it doesn't go any deeper. So in short, the AI doesn't really replace the SEO. It makes high quality, crawlable content even more important, because if your content wasn't organized before, Google would do that kind of for you. But now, in the age of AI, if your content is not organized, and then you are in disadvantage comparing to another company that offering the same answers but is organized, because it has bullet points, titles, like the content, the information is something that it's easy for humans and AI to read it and understand it, and that becomes very, very fundamental. So the technical SEO foundation, right, and even chat engine optimization foundation, or what we're going to call it CEO for now. So pages must be crawlable, indexed, and well structured. The key word here is well structured. So having a well structured title, bullet points, and then having the main body makes it very important. FAQ pages, they get priority over body text when the AI is summarizing thing and looking for answer. So let's peel another layer. We're going to peel a lot of layers to come up again with specific actions you could do. This is what this presentation is about. Like without needing any another software or anything, how can you guys come up with a specific action? So what to focus on? Um, well, if you want with the AI, focusing on ads, random optimized, unoptimized postings, and disconnected platforms and data is not going to help you. Paid ads is not going to help you to show up in chat engines. Where before you could actually, a national company could come and just bid more and spend more, and they show up higher in the Google result. Now they won't be able to pay their way into, at least right now. We don't know what happens future, but right now they can't pay their way into becoming an answer, and that is very very important. So um, and we talked about previously that the right focus is building trust signals that AI understand. So that means machine readable authority over manual outreach. That means structured data. That means start building trust across the web, not just focus on reviews on Google or other places. And we're going to again go over specific actions. So how to build trust. So let's peel another layer, dive deep. So we said if you want to show in AI chat engines, we need to build trust. So how to build trust? So AI pulls data from multiple trust sources, right? And and what are those trust sources? Let's review those and see what can we do to improve. So Google Business Profile is one of the most important things that you guys want to focus on. That's sort of your primary digital storefront and the anchor for local AI searches to bring clarity and sort of glue everything together and validate the data. So it's not just if you're searching with Gemini, with ChatGPT, with Claude, with the other Copilot, any of them. Basically, they use Google as a reference of some of the information they provide to their customers. So your website is another super important that its job is to create clarity, right? And VDP page details help you and help the AI to be able to find that a specific, let's say, car types and colors and specs, and whether it's a family car, seven-seater, does it feed a dog, certain size. So all of that is something that you could provide information that helps create clarity and getting to answer faster instead of relying on AI's general knowledge, or instead of like going deeper into the search layer. Reviews and directories are very important. How wide you are in that local market, and it creates a good reputation. And then finally, consistent data give you authority. It like means you have the same data repeated on multiple sources, and that becomes very very important. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna focus on each one of these and then come up with the specific actions that you could do. Let's just start with Google Business Profile. So Google Business Profile is technically your AI resume. So it is your foundation of your local search authority. What can you do to improve that? So you want to be accurate. So ensure the name, address, phones, they have consistency across all platforms. You want to keep it updated. So reflect current business hours, special holiday times, and service offers. You can't imagine how many of our customers that we're helping that literally that's the first thing we do. We just create a consistency across different directories. They have different working hours. They might have different addresses from previous locations. They haven't updated information, and all of these are not good trust signals for AI, even though that for humans they may not care, but AI looks as an overall trust score. So that is good and bad. Is good because you don't have to be the highest rating in that local market to be recommended by AI. You just need to have an overall better trust score than somebody else. So somebody with less reviews, with the lower reviews, may be recommended from somebody that has a higher review because they have other trust signals that are even better. So you want to stay active. For many, that if you don't know, your Google business profile is like your Facebook page. You guys can do posts. You could update it, add images. So keep it active, because AI look at how recent all these information was added or changed, and that determines the AI how much authority you have, and how much trust it can make you, because the more recent information typically is something that is more trustworthy. And you want to be complete. Like, the more information you can provide to AI, and in your Google business profile, it helps them understand. As an example, if you're focused on a special car type, I'm going to use F-150 as if. So if I'm a dealership that in a specific city, and I'm doing in a special car type, or special RV type, or a special motorcycle, mentioning that across my Google profile, whether responding to reviews, thank you so much for purchasing this RV, for purchasing this F-150. Like, we want to be the best in this city. So we're going to actually go to those like specific answers. But the bottom line, and in this section, is that a rich profile isn't just for people. Obviously, it's going to help there, but it's also how AI evaluates how much it wants to trust you. So this is what you want to do. The next step is website. So let's say, how can we make our website better, right? Um, so your website, make it AI readable. That's the best and the most simple that I can give you. You want clear, structured content for bots and humans to bring clarity. What does that mean? What's the specific clarity actions that you could do? So you want to clearly say who you are. So beside obviously legal business name, clarity, your branding, that you want to be consistent, whatever your dealership is called, you want it to be consistent across the web. You want to localize and specialize. Well, we talk about this. If you have a niche market, a specific either car types, or even if you have all these different brands, you might say we do American and European cars. You want to create FAQs. You want to create pages that are dedicated to each of those, because again, AI is about to find answers, and the answers that it can find through the sort of the less deep you can get and find the answer, so you can save energy, right? So you want to emphasize that if you want to be dominant in your local city, in your certain block of the city, if you want to be in a certain car type, that is actually a huge advantage. And if you have multiple car types, then you want to have different pages that each one is focused on that car type and on that car brand. So um, you want to be clear where you are. Like, people want to find you in one directory. You have one address, in another one you have another address. In your website, sometimes we see in one page there is one address. There is no consistency across, and AI doesn't like that, because it doesn't crosses the trust signal. So why customers should trust you? This is extremely, extremely important for many businesses that are selling commodity. If it is a Honda Civic 2025, whether I buy it from A dealership and B dealership, really most likely is the same car. And the difference is that what makes this dealership different? Why should people, or AI, in other words, trust you? And things like if you have certification videos, guarantees, special proof indicators, like why us media in a form. So you want to use those, because AI read those, crawl those, and then it will use them as why you're a better choice in that specific local market than a national franchisee, right? And you want to mention those, like list all the items. If you're there, if you have a special working hours, if you are owner where you share your phone number with the buyers so they can call you after hours, if there are good stories that you could share, all of these are creating that trust score. They're gradually increasing this trust score. So you don't have to have the highest and the best reviews, but combination of all these is going to actually help you significantly. So you want to answer the question. So your website needs to answer questions, because these answers to these questions become a source of reference for AI when it is giving answer to them. Plus, it also benefits real humans when they're in your website because they don't have to leave your website and find the answers, right? So if they want to know what's the financing options, how much monthly they have to pay, if they can't find that answer on your website, they're going to go to a chat engine and chat with it, or they're going to go to a website, or they're going to go to like a financing app, find it, right? If you want to provide trade-in information, valuations, the pricing, you want it to be clear, detail it out, have ways that people can get the information about it, and you want to have recommendation like suggest vehicles based on lifestyle, budget, intent, use, because this is how reverse of that is happening. This is how people are. So if you're drafting your description, you want to mention, hey, this is very good for a family. If you have a dog, it fits a German Shepherd. So you want to actually humanize that in a sense that if somebody searches and say, hey, I need a family car that, and I have a German Shepherd, that description help you come up higher than somebody who's in a national level and doing that, because literally you're giving the answer to AI right away, right? And it doesn't need to sort of decide that itself or go deep. It just shows you the one that the product is claiming to be, and once it's sort of validated with other scores and validated that yes, this makes sense, then you become the first answer. So high value FAQ pages don't just help buyers, which they do help buyers, but they also train AI. And that means once the AI is trained on your content, that means it's going to actually recommend you as the source of the answer. So we talk about improvement on website. Now let's talk about reviews and directory. So there is this good news. It's about reputation. So reviews are your reputation engine. So how AI analyzes your social proof to rank your dealership. So you want review volume, uh, but you also want but the volume is not the only thing. So while the quantity matters, AI uses the total count, the total score of your reviews across different platforms plus other things. What are other things? Like how freshness and the velocity of the information. So how often you're updating your Google profile, how often you're updating your Facebook page, how active you are in those places. So AI prioritizes the recent feedbacks to determine the reliability versus the recency helps by just like being more active in your social medias and your website. You're literally creating a positive point and increasing your trust score. So customer language. So what does this mean? We talked about this previously. So if the customer language, we know for people, if I'm, let's go back to our Ford F-150. So if we know our dealership and the customer language is that, the I I want a AI F50 that has this much height from the floor, or if I want a family car with the dog example. So you want to mention that in the description, you want to mention that in the feature, you want to mention that in an FAQ. So you know better than anyone what's the language that your customers speak or search when they're searching. And you want to use the same language in FAQs, in blogs, in descriptions, in titles, in respond to reviews. That's like one super powerful things where you could somebody we'll say gives a 5 star, let's say, or 4 stars, and that's it. They don't mention anything, or they just say, yeah, it was a great service, very good dealership. Okay, you can't control the posting. If you can, that's amazing. You want to detail as much as possible, but if you can't control the posting, you could control the response. Right? You could say, hey, thank you so much for purchasing this F-150. We want to be the best the dealership in Nashville, right? The best dealership in Nashville. So if somebody later on searches for a F-150 in Nashville, guess who AI is going to recommend as a good choice for dealers? If somebody has German cars, or focus on if you're a mechanic, if you're a dealership that is focused on a certain car type, so you want to focus on that. So dealer responses become super important. So reviews are not just for shoppers, they're data points that fuel the AI recommendation engine, and that is super important. So let's peel more, right? We talk about Google profile, we talk about website reviews. Now let's talk, what are we talking about when we say consistent data? What are the specific actions we could do? So consistent data, AI pulls from multiple trust sources, right? So across social media, reviews, Google profile, like all these across your website, reviews, directories, what people are telling about you, what your certificate are, what's content you're, so that you want it to be consistent. So really, this is not a content on its own. It's just the way you want to draft each of these, like the way you want to like have a stuff on your Google business profile. You want to have the same address here. You want to have the same address on your website, and you want to have the same address on reviews and directories. So that becomes important. So consistent data build confidence, and confidence build trust for humans and for AI. So you want to synchronize your digital identity to establish trust with AI and buyers. So you want to do that across your website, Google profile, directories, social platforms. You want to have that consistency, same message. If let's go back to if I'm F-150, you want to pass that message in a specific city. You want to pass that message across different storefronts, across your different digital storefronts that you have. So discrepancies, they have a negative point. They create doubt, right? In humans, in AI as well, because it literally works the same system. So uniformly having the same information across the web is the most simple thing that you can do. And I have a secret that I'm going to share with you how you guys can actually do that and automate that part as well in the next few slides. So your look at this. This is your AI visibility checklist. This is very important. If you want to screenshot it, this becomes one of the important slides that we talk about. So optimize Google profile. So you want to ensure primary data mirrors your website exactly. It is updated. Add rich, good quality FAQ. Clarify website messaging. What are you selling? Where are you selling? What are you focused on? Generate consistent reviews. The more recent they are, the more specific they are, it will help you. And then you want all of these to shout out the same message, whatever it is that is your keyword, whatever that you want to do. So these are the important things. Here's the thing, but how should I do this? Let's go back. This is very important. This is the secret. So the interesting thing is the AI can help you do and create AI readable content. So let me repeat that. So AI can help you in creating AI readable content. AI can help you to analyze your website. I mean, anyone can do it. If you have Claude, if you have Gemini, if you have ChatGPT, I would highly recommend get a paid version and just give it your website and tell them, hey, crawl my entire website. Tell me what are the inconsistency. You can look at the FAQs and say, hey, I want to create a FAQ page. This is my story. I'm in this community. I'm in this. What would be the questions that you think people are going to ask when they want to buy this type of car? And then you create the questions based on those, and then you provide the answers. AI even can help you create the questions and create the answers. So these are the like use AI to show up in AI. That's sort of a simple advice, yet many people miss it, or when they hear it, that becomes an aha moment. Yes, I can do that, and you could do it yourself. If you're a small business, you don't have a marketing team, you could do it yourself. Everything we've done that you saw, we just have 3 people in our entire marketing that they're also doing graphic design for customers and all of that. So you don't need a huge army to do it. And in many, many, many cases, you as just a single business owner or family-owned business, you could do it yourself. So what are the opportunities right now? You want to seize the early advantage in the AI-driven market. Right now, there are low competition. Think about when early days when the Google came up. You would pay 1 cent, 2 cents, 5 cents to be the top of Google, right? You could even have like simple tricks that you would just repeat keywords in white color matching the background and you would show up, right? And then during the time it became more expensive, it became tougher to show in organic. But here's the thing. The good thing is that it takes time. Why taking time is good? Because you can't have the national dealership come and just pay their way to the top of answers the way they would do in the Google search. So the sooner you start, the harder it becomes to defeat you from your competition and from nationals. And then you want to make sure you are having a high quality content. So small changes in your digital footprint leads to massive increase in lead quality because others are not doing it. So people that are doing it will easily ramp up and rank up versus people that are not doing it. So Something very important. If I want to really summarize everything into one sort of, we're almost towards the end, um, a slide, is that the trust is foundation of visibility in the AI era. I think we established that. But like, which one, sort of a chicken and an egg? Like, do you need to have visibility to have trust? Do you need trust to have visibility? The point is they work together, they feed each other. And but start is by building trust, building consistent data, because then that trust give you visibility. The visibility and people's feedback give you more trust, and then it creates this sort of snowball, this cycle of um, of 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 attention and this cycle of showing up. So the closing thought is that if AI were asked today, would it recommend you? Go search that. So your digital reputation is your most valuable asset in the machine learning era, and even more important than that, what we had in the age of SEOs. So this was the title. My email is sean@glow3d.com. We are a digital marketing platform. So everything I said is something that we do. I haven't hidden anything from what we are doing. And if you just follow this, you should be getting the same result. But if you don't have time, you don't have the energy, you don't want to spend your time, you're already super busy with other things, this is one of the services among other services. We have about 25 different products, but helping you with the chat engine optimization is one of the services we offer. You could email me and I can put you in touch with the right team, and then from there we could do this for you. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to email if you have comments, you would like to add anything, you think there are things that I missed, things that needs to be added to presentation. Please share that. I will be recording a modified version of this in a few months, and I would love to put your comments, your experiences, how things work out for you. You could add it as a comment. You could email it to me, whatever that works the best. This video is intended to help the dealership community, and you guys can contribute to this by sharing your experience of what worked from this presentation for you, what didn't work. I would love to hear that. Either email it, comment it, whatever that works for you. Thank you so much for watching.